As you all know, Steve is being banned. Sorta. But before I talk about this head-ass take, I'm actually going to run you through everything that's been going on and why this has even come up. HBox actually went ahead and made a tweet basically going over Steve's new tech, where unfortunately Steve can actually just straight up negate multi-hit moves and of course ultimately reversal you in a situation where you should either die, be taking combo damage, or just getting hit. This is the first time we've seen this in this game where a character can effectively negate hit stun and use it to their advantage in order to either kill you or of course to stack on a ton of damage. Steve has been the constant discussion in Ultimate on whether he should be legal or not, and most players just hate Steve. I hate Steve. I don't know many players that like Steve or like fighting Steve other than Steve players themselves who ultimately benefit from him being in the game. There aren't many characters, I want to say, in Smash history that you could just pick up and play and instantly just be a threat with, right? People tend to not like those characters being in games, and there's always a conversation about those characters and their legality. You could say Meta Knight is the most broken character in Smash history, to which you'd be fully correct. But you cannot just pick up Meta Knight and beat anybody. It's not happening. You're just not going to turn into an overnight superstar. Smash 4, of course, you had Bayonetta, and then in this game, we have Steve. So, Steve in this game is, I want to say, ABC 123 cookie cutter character. However, I will say that some of the more advanced Steve tech is actually not that simple to do. But it just so happens that this one in general is just that one thing that's just a cut above the rest and is not that hard in execution, to the point where it's pretty much breaking the fundamental rules of Smash Brothers, and to which I say, yeah, it should go. Now, the first thing you should think about, right, because banning a character is a big deal. Of course, you're effectively getting rid of an entire player base of players who play this character, which there are a lot of Steve players, either because they like Minecraft or because they like to win. And so, you're essentially just ruling out those players immediately. And I've seen some posts saying basically, prove to us that you can win a local with another character. And to be honest, I don't really see that being reasonable or a point in any of this at all. I don't see how that, like, fits into this narrative. You feel me? However, I think people actually just are using this because they want Steve banned anyway. Like, obviously there's going to be people that do that, but then there's going to be people that don't want Steve banned but see the dangers of allowing him to be legal in this situation. Is you had some players say, well, just ban the tech. It's not that simple, especially if TOs have to take time out of the tournament to go watch a replay to see if the Steve player did the tech, whether intentionally or accidentally, or if someone doesn't save the replay, what do? Right? So in my opinion, you get rid of the whole damn character. So that's the tech ultimately down there, as you saw, and these are regions that currently have Steve banned. At first I was like, we've been down this road like, what, 2 times already in 2 other games? It's not happening. But it seems like regions are actually doing it. You got Kansas, Iowa, Colorado, Denmark, Massachusetts, Ohio, Wisconsin, New York, Texas, DC, and South Carolina. I know Collision has actually implemented a ban and evaluation period for Steve. HBox is actually going to have an announcement pretty much about the future of Steve in his event, Coinbot. There are other people that are basically arguing the legality of Steve as well, where he wants Steve to not be banned and is calling us all a bunch of softies. And then you have other regions, of course, Missouri here, Kansas City, Springfield, let's see, Sulkin, K-State, KU, Smash. So it's pretty much all over the place. But ultimately, this character is getting banned. I think I saw a ban in place in Mexico too, funny enough. But then, of course, in the sea of takes, you have the head-ass takes, where I think no matter what HBox does, especially whether it's for the community or for himself, someone is going to have an opinion on it, of course. Why? Who knows? But why is an important ruling for the community being farmed for content? Why is this who we let make important decisions in the community? I don't think HBox is the sole contributor to what happens in the ultimate scene, despite him being very much a part of it. Not only that, it's for his tournament series that he didn't have to do. And he's thinking 24 hours after Wednesday's ultimate coin box. So he's leaving up time and he's going to give official ruling for it for those that are interested. First and foremost, you don't have to watch it if you don't care about it. And 2, it's for his tournament series. I don't really get it. If he wants to make a video out of this, why not? And to be honest, I think most people should be making a video about this, because if we aren't bringing awareness to the topic of Steve not being allowed for people to practice or use in tournament, then obviously the more content made for it, the more awareness it brings, and we might, and this is a reach, but it's better than doing nothing, we might be able to get the attention of Nintendo so they send in a hot fix. I'm sure that if Nintendo knew about this, as much as they try to act like they don't care about the competitive Smash scene, which they do a great job at, they might implement a hot fix, because I don't think Microsoft paid a bag, or however the negotiations went. I don't think Microsoft let Steve get into Smash to not be used at all, right? And so that is the one thing I think that could even reach them, is if they take notice to Steve not being in events, and of course, Steve just basically falling off the face of the planet in terms of the game competitively. They don't care about competitive, but at the end of the day, if they are still hoping to do anything with the competitive scene, they would probably legalize Steve. They probably would. And then that would just cause a whole nother issue where we've already went through a year of him being gone. Like, yeah, you kind of catch my drift. So I think this is just people being angry at HBox for the sake of being angry, guys. If you ever want to make content because you want to do it. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. Like, make the content. I don't see anything bad about him making a video or a stream out of this at all. Like, no. And there's other people in the comment section, obviously, that would agree. But my genuine take on this is that as much as I hate fighting Steve, if he didn't have this tech, I'd still advocate for him being legal, despite him not being good for the game at all. And yeah, that's pretty much my take. It's very hard to micromanage this tech. Like, I'm being honest, it's very difficult to micromanage this tech. So, like, dead ass, I would say let's just move on. Let's see how this goes, and ultimately we just take it from there. So yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is NAKAT. Take it easy. Peace out. Deuces.